Wait, there's something very weak coming through.
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
Hello, fellow Galactic listeners. I'm Todd Hoffman, and this is WSTR Galactic Public Access, a Star Wars podcast. Welcome to episode 133. Today, we're going to be talking about the documentary Behind the Bucket with my good friends, Tom Rosy and Mike Determan. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hey, thanks for having me again.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
It's good to be here. Yes.
Yeah, this is my second time, so this is I'm feeling special here.
Yeah, right. You're like a gold star, guest.
Yeah, awesome.
Right, exactly.
And so, yeah, thank you for bringing us on so we could talk a little bit about the documentary we've been doing. I think that's what we talked briefly about the first time I was on.
You're already stealing our thunder for the main topic. But yes, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Okay. Heather and Aaron have the night off, so we're going to miss them, but I have these fine gentlemen and we're going to make it through this podcast for sure.
Yes.
But first we got to pay the bills. All right. It ain't easy living with a price on your head. You can find everyone except Aaron on social media at WSTR Media, all one word, all lowercase. Email us at mailbox@wstrmedia.com. You can leave us a voicemail, 630-557-WSTR. That's 630-557-9787. Operators are standing by. No, you just leave a voicemail and you can hear your gorgeous voice blasted across the galactic holonet. Don't be shy. The Force will be with you always. Of course, we have our back catalog of episodes. That's at podcast.wstrmedia.com. And we're sponsored by Audible. So if you want to get educated, you want to get dumb and entertain at the same time, you can go to Audible. They have over 425,000 titles. That's a lot of choices, gentlemen.
That's impressive.
That's a lot. So there's a ton of different Audible originals there as well. So if you do this, audibletrial.com/WSTR for your free 30-day trial, not only do you get a free Audible book, but you got exclusives from Audible that you can only get from Audible. That's why they're exclusive. So this month they have quite a few different choices. So you can pick two. So not only do you get the free Audible book, but then you get two free exclusives. The one that I read or listened to, it's kind of hard. It's not reading, it's listening, but it was Tom Stranger, and it's hilarious. You have to check it out. It's one of the exclusives for free. You can download your free Audible book today at audibletrial.com/WSTR, and you help us out. We help you out. You get entertained. There you go. We also got merch, store.wstrmedia.com. You can find all your stuff there. We got t-shirts, hats, hoodies, leggings, socks, you name it, store.wstrmedia.com. All right. That's enough of the infomercial. Now it's time for our main topic.
And now for our feature presentation.
So Tom already alluded to this, but we had your son Blake and yourself on way back in episode 81.
Was it 81?
It was
83. Yeah. I know it was in the 80s.
It was in the 80s. We like the 80s, right?
Yeah. Good time.
Yeah, it was.
Maybe a little too good.
Yeah. So during that podcast, really, we were talking about kind of we know each other from the Midwest Garrison, just to get everybody up to speed. And at that time, we're kind of talking about your father-son connection, doing troops together. But the thing you kind of dropped at the end of that episode was you're kind of working on this documentary. Yeah. So now we're way in the future now. Yep. And so why don't you kind of bring our listeners up to speed along this journey? So how did this idea of behind the documentary start?
Well, it helps being a nerd. So
right.
Actually, what ended up happening, and this is kind of going way back, Mike, who is joined with us today here, we met on a feature film that I kind of got connected to it because of the fact of what I was doing with the 501st and costuming and stuff like that. My sister had mentioned to me she knew this guy
This guy.
That I'd probably get along with. His name was BJ, and she was telling me that he films and he loves all the Marvel and Star Wars and all this kind of stuff. And she said, this would be kind of a cool connection to you. So I literally texted him that day, right there at dinner while we were sitting down, and he invited me out to come check out this movie he was working on called The Rocket.
Okay.
So from there, they asked me to do a couple little special effect type things, some props. Long story short, none of that got used, but I had an amazing time.
None of that got used.
Yeah, I had an amazing time working with the cast and crew. I made great friends, connections, Mike being one of them.
Oh, okay.
And so that's where me and Mike met for the first time.
Okay.
I spent about 2 weeks out in Wisconsin.
Yeah, up in, was it Bristol, Pleasant Prairie, and Wilmot area?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
And during those shots, it was all outdoors. It was beautiful day. It was just great experience all around.
Sure.
When we wrapped that week, right? Too, didn't we?
That was it was a 15-day shoot. So
Okay. All
I
right.
think that was the last week because you were there. You were making spikes because one of the characters gets spiked. It happens in cross country quite a bit. It's supposed to get spiked by another character, and you're supposed to see the actual spike go in, or at least kind of like a rubber. We just couldn't get the shots. We were running late on time. I know that was one of the things just the logistics of everything. So I was one of the cameramen for that. So it just unfortunately we didn't get to use that.
right.
But it looked cool.
It looked cool.
It looked
cool. Yeah.
It looked. Like legitimate spikes, but they're bendable. I don't even know what you made them out of.
It was really low tech. I literally bought the spikes that you screw into the bottom of the track shoes. Grinded off the tips, made a mold sort of out of using one of them, and hot glued that glue into the mold, and I just pulled these little spikes out, and then I painted them.
Oh, okay.
It was
Black,
it just super glued them on there, but it was super bendable, super flexible. Nobody would have got hurt.
Yeah.
So but yeah, that was kind of my low tech way of doing it, and then But as we went on, we did wrap that week, and I got invited to come to the next movie. But beforehand, there was a few other projects I think you and me worked on. We did the Green Lantern thing. Yeah,
it was like a fan film.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right. Yeah.
Just a really I wouldn't call it a spoof. What would you call it?
What would you call it?
Kind of like a teaser of a hopefully made movie, like of the actual Green Lantern core.
Yeah.
At that point, we were hoping for that.
Yeah.
That was before Justice League.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Like this would be the better Green Lantern movie.
This would be the better Green Lantern.
And so it was all encompassing a lot, not just one Green Lantern. We debuted a few of them, and so one of the things I was doing for that project, which was just a little short YouTube thing, was I made the mask all out of scratch, and I made the gauntlets, and I believe that was it. We got my brother-in-law
it was those.
Yeah, so that was what I made for that project. Everything else we were able to kind of throw together. It was a cool thing. It was just one of those things you do for fun.
Sure.
Me and Mike worked on that. Mike was cameraman for that too. Then comes along C2E2.
Okay. Of what year now?
Of 2000.
Wait. That 2018, right? Yeah, because it was last year, right? It was last year.
Was last year? Yeah,
it was last year. We started it last year because this was my second Joliet.
That's
okay.
Right.
All right. Yeah.
So 2018.
We were rushing to get to Joliet. I was like, well, all right, I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
So we're at C2E2. I believe it was closer to the end of the event, and we're at an after party.
Okay.
So we're just kind of hanging out. Yeah, just
talking,
shooting the breeze, drinking a little bit.
Yeah.
And with my experience with Mike already and knowing what he knows, and it was just an idea. I said, what we should do, especially considering that our garrison was turning 20 years old.
2019, yes.
And we're one of the oldest garrisons around. I thought it'd be a really neat idea to do a documentary on the garrison.
Okay.
And so I brought it up to Mike.
And it was really kind of cool because I was just getting off of wrapping for the other documentary we were working on, The Worth of Water. So I had no other obligations for documentaries.
Right, yeah.
And I was really kind of curious because I didn't know what the 501st did.
Okay.
Honestly, I thought that you just went to conventions. That's it.
Sure, yes.
But then, through the conversation, that night, Tom started to, touch upon like the charities and the birthday parties, just everything that you do. And then
Right.
I didn't realize there was a nonprofit either.
Okay. Okay.
And so I
right.
thought, wow, that's a great idea. As he pitched the whole idea of a documentary. I was like, yeah,
At
let's
the
do it.
C2 after party, C2E2 after party, just like, hey, let's do this.
And actually, the name came that same day, Behind the Bucket.
Yeah. It was that night.
It was that night. I blurted it out, and we're like, "That's it. We're going with that."
So that's kind of that was the vision that was set at that point.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So then what happened after that?
So we
That was the first time I met Rex too.
yeah. So
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
Rex.
Is our commanding officer for the Midwest Garrison.
Thank you for
Yes,
expanding on it.
Yeah.
I brought Rex over and I said, Rex, I have this idea, and I introduced him to Mike, and he had never met him, and so I said, what do you think about this? And Rex loved it. He's like, you're in charge of it. It's your baby. I'm like, well, good.
Because I just came up with it. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
anyways, we started talking about it, and so we worked with Rex on getting a few of the families that we helped together. And day one,
I see what you're saying. Okay.
yeah. So Rex, really helped us along, like getting us the information to the events that we really want to film, setting us up with some of the families that we would want to interview. And day one took place at the Asylum, which is a location that Rex owns. It's a kind of
it's kind of like his prop building place, right?
exactly. And storage facility.
Yeah.
So,
right. Yeah.
So we filmed in that day. We had this vision of what we wanted.
Yeah.
We wanted to tell the Midwest Garrison story, but what ended up happening as we kept filming is the story got to be bigger than just the Midwest Garrison.
Sure. Yeah.
And I think that's what's most important, anyways, the story to tell, because the 501st is worldwide. So you want to be able to, be all-encompassing to
And not
other garrisons.
limit it to the one garrison. Right. Yeah.
So we used, obviously, the Midwest Garrison as an example because we're following them around. We're, Celebration was here in Chicago. When that was announced, that was amazing. Perfect timing.
We're like, hey, thanks.
Yeah, right.
Just made our job easier.
Yeah.
Right. We don't have to travel anywhere. Right. Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we were just in the right place at the right time, I think, with this. And although, like you mentioned, we've been filming for about a year. And the reason why is, as Mike talked about, on the feature film, how many weeks was that?
It was 15 days.
15 days.
Yeah.
So
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You're well scripted. You have everything planned.
Yes.
You get your actors in and out. They do their thing. And
Right.
so with a documentary, it's not that easy.
It's not really planned.
No.
Yeah.
It's not planned. You have an outline. You don't really know what the story is until you kind of find it, and then we cover the events as they happen too.
Correct.
So,
Yeah.
So that's why it's been taking so long. And I know people have been getting the buzz about it, and they're anxious to see what we got and the footage. And obviously, we've been interviewing many people in the garrisons and other garrisons when we got them at Celebration.
Yeah.
So people are like, hey, what's going on?
Hey, you remember when we filmed and I was like really jazzed about it, and now it's like 6 months later and I haven't seen a thing, like where are we at with that?
Yeah. So it's I just want to reassure everyone that we are hard at work, and so the one thing
I did hit record, don't worry.
Yeah.
The camera was going.
Yeah, I wasn't like, oh, we didn't get any of that footage, Yeah, exactly.
But like tomorrow, for example, we're grabbing some footage out in a forest preserve, and that's just to kind of insert a little few shots that we sort of didn't think ahead of time for.
Right.
It's hard to explain because I don't want to give anything away, but to expand on that,
it's kind of like with any film, you have like the main shots, and like you said, in a documentary, it's a little bit different how you film it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also that kind of what we call B-roll, and you need some of these like big shots, like side, like wide shots and close-ups and all these kind of things that it's not just the interview, it's not just the event, there's like all these other things you want to kind of fill, right?
Kind of for transitions.
Yes, exactly.
Which is going to help out immensely.
Right. Yeah. And so you don't usually have some of that right when you're doing the interview,
Exactly. And so as as you interview people, they're talking about these events. They're talking about these shows and moments in their lives that now, after filming for so long, we have the footage for, and we can show that
Right.
and overlay it. And
Yes,
and it's just, that's the beautiful thing right now. It's so close to the end here, is that everything is coming together.
Yeah.
It's just, and it's really happening organically.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the most amazing part, because we, you don't have to script something like this out. This has been very heart-wrenching at times. There's a lot of beautiful stories and, and things that I've been behind camera and fighting back tears a little bit.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So and we just want to obviously tell this story. So the biggest thing too is that this is not going to be 501st propaganda. This is not going to be this is not going to just be for fan service for the Star Wars fan. This is first and foremost a documentary about a group of people.
Yes.
And so that's the story we want to tell. We want to tell the story of these group of people that are showing a community spirit, a camaraderie, not only here locally, but throughout the entire world. And so how you could reach out to your brothers and sisters, in another garrison,
Yes.
Anywhere, and you will feel that same kind of feeling that you feel here.
Okay.
So that's the story we want to tell. That's the bigger story
Sure.
that we've decided we need to tell. And so the way we're telling that,
The way we're telling that is we're just filming everything. No.
Just shoot everything you can.
yeah, just shoot everything.
my motto.
Right. Yeah. We're just shooting everything. Yeah.
So I kind of fought this a little bit, and Mike can kind of explain a little more on what I'm getting at here. I really didn't want to be on camera at all.
Okay. You wanted to, at first, you were interviewing the folks that were affected by the 501st in a good way, and just saying, these kind of charities help my family out and X, Y, kind of in those steps. And you were kind of just behind the camera asking the questions while you were filming, correct? Yeah. Okay.
And so, there would be every once in a while I catch Mike with the camera on me. I'd be like, get the camera off me.
Got a camera off. Right. Yeah.
But, I first of all, I don't want anyone to think that this was about me, but this is my project. But, there's Mike explained this very differently to me than I originally thought about it, and I'll let him kind of explain it.
Well, with any story, you need to have this is part of the journey.
Sure.
You need to follow. You're basically that person that's guiding us through this story,
like a narrator.
And we need that, and we need to be able to see who that person is at times.
Right.
And we need to find out who you are too, because then we get basically engaged as a viewer.
Sure.
Into this story, and knowing that you're part of the 501st and you do
actively involved
things like that, it really helps me as a viewer. I have to look at it as a viewer when I'm shooting. What would I think, or how would I feel? And that draws me in.
Gotcha.
That makes me impassioned to want to watch it.
Right.
So that's why it's very necessary. I know he's very reluctant to want to be on camera.
Look, I don't want to be on camera.
It's not a me thing. It's he wasn't doing this to be like, hey, look at me. It was I want to tell this story.
Yes.
But we do need someone to guide it through.
Right.
And you've been there the whole time, so you have to, unfortunately, be the guider. Being reluctant.
Right.
You have to still.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm okay with that. Because
you have a stunt double now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm okay with that. I just want, obviously to make everyone very proud of this story.
And what you're trying to do, you wanted to obviously remove yourself out of it, so the story kind of tells itself. But I understand what you're saying. As a viewer, if I'm watching this documentary and I just hear a voice, I don't know who that person is. I can't connect.
Yep.
Right. Even though some of those stories are very powerful, as a like a narrator or a guide, I might not know who's that dude talking off camera? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, I'm not happy about it.
People are going to connect with you, and that's the important thing.
Yeah.
That's what's going to bring them in.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
And, that's really, it is a journey for me too. I'm still very new to the garrison. So, when I found this group and this club, I was very inspired not only to join, but also to help others to join. So I get messages, through social medias and stuff like that, like, "Hey, what do I need to do to join?" I'm more than happy to help people and talk people through this. And so that's another part of this documentary is helping people realize that this is attainable. This is something, if this is what you really want to do and you want to, whether it's just you want to dress up like a stormtrooper because you want to be geeky, or you want to join in on a charity work and reach out with the community, this is kind of helping you to understand that these are people from all walks of life.
Yes. You're right.
And so, you don't need to be whatever you might think in your mind to join. So, and then also it helps people to realize that, it's not as hard as you think to join. And
there's a secret handshake,
Yeah. And the costumes, they're amazing and they can be intimidating.
Yes.
But that's the community part there. That's where the garrison members will help you get what you need to get done to achieve that goal.
Yeah. I mean, I can speak to that as well because, I got my kit. I'm sanding, I'm grinding, I'm doing all my thing. And then it got to the gluing part, and I was like, this is permanent. This is like, and I know, and I finally got to that point where I got the kit. I'm ready to do this, and like now I'm ready to, lay some glue down. I'm like, I'm scared, man, because I didn't want to screw up. Because if you screw up, then it's like, well, now I got to buy replacement parts, and I spent all this time, and I just happened to be at an event, and Mike Stoughton. He saw my ink on my arm. He's like, "Dude, you gotta get one of these. Yeah, I love your ink. You gotta get one of these." I'm like, "I got one in my basement." He's like, "Why are you not here?"
Yeah.
And he literally is like, I saw him. We took a picture together, and then he did his thing. I was doing my thing, and then he came back around. And he's like, "Give me your phone." I'm like, "What? Why do you need my phone?" He's like, and it's like, "I'm gonna Facebook message you, and we're gonna get together, and we're gonna figure this out."
Yeah.
So he showed me basically. He glued like one piece, and I was like, "Okay, I can do it."
Yeah,
and
that's
then
all you needed for your confidence.
That's all I needed for my confidence, and then so I was able to do a lot more. And then he came over, and we became friends, and and then he helped me finish my kit. And it's like, without that, I probably, I mean, I would eventually got it done, but that just like kickstarted it, into, all right, I can make this happen. It was becoming more obtainable, because it is intimidating when you're like, okay, I just forked over all this money, and now I'm ready to do it. And depending on what costume you got, I mean, there's a little bit involved, So,
right.
and that's really the community part where it's like, I didn't know Mike from anything, and he's like, "Yeah, let's just get together." I'm like, "Okay," and that's how that kind of happened for my journey,
Exactly. Yeah. I think most people's journey are the same way too. So I think it's also important that we touch on that, and we have. And, there's so many little side stories and
right, yeah. And you're like, we could be filming for 3 years. Yeah.
And it's really a point where you have to say, we got what we need. We're good. I mean, I would love to keep filming, but let's put something out. And so,
Star Wars has a couple sequels in there and prequels, so you can you can start with one and then like have
Behind the Bucket too.
Right.
Well, I already got a few projects in my head.
Did you tell your partner here about that?
Not yet. No, but we'll discuss that later.
Right.
But so, getting back to what we're talking about as far as filming for so long.
Yes.
I want everyone to realize that we are hard at work. So, what we have.
Yes.
Is a teaser trailer.
Yes.
There is another trailer coming the closer we get, but we are going to drop this teaser trailer.
Yeah, say that 3 times fast.
Right. Yeah. Let's see. So I think we this episode will come out on the 31st.
That's correct.
All right.
Yes.
So by the time you guys hear this, you will see the teaser trailer on August 3rd.
All right. August 3rd.
Saturday,
It's
correct?
a
That's a
Saturday.
Saturday,
Okay.
yeah.
It's going to
So-
drop August 3rd.
August 3rd. And
All
so we're going to put it on the platform of what? YouTube?
Which is pretty much YouTube. And
YouTube,
Instagram,
yeah.
Twitter,
Yeah.
Facebook,
All the
all the
normal
yes,
stuff.
yeah.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
So
Yeah. Awesome. That's super exciting.
it is super exciting.
Yeah.
We've, it's impactful for what we got so far.
Yeah.
For a teaser trailer.
Yeah.
It highlights a lot of good points of what we're kind of covering.
Sure.
I think our second trailer will be a little more descriptive.
Yes.
Of
Yeah.
what-
Because like the second trailer is more like, hey, this is kind of our story. The teaser trailer is more like kind of a little flashy,
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
A little taste.
a little
Yeah,
taste, a
little
little nibble,
taste.
a little nibble. Yeah,
But
exactly.
I think it's what we needed to do to just remind people that we're
Hard at work.
Yeah, we're this is the real thing. This is
Yeah. Well, okay, let's
And it's tough because of that, because
Yeah.
of this day and age with social media and everything being so quick and so
Yes.
instant. People,
Yes.
even with the other documentary that we were just wrapping up before we started shooting that,
Uh-huh.
it's getting finished right now.
Right.
But people forget about it because everything's so quick now.
It is. Well, and obviously with Netflix and how we view media now, it's just out of control.
Yeah.
Like someone in a good way and then someone in a bad way, because it's like I can watch this whole season that took probably 3 months to shoot with all this post-production, all this time, and literally a day.
Yeah.
And I'm done. Oh, that was great. Thanks for doing that. Where I was just gonna say, like, when we take a step back here, I mean, you guys are doing this. This is free. This is just your passion.
It's a passion
It's a
project.
passion project.
Yes.
And I think that's key in understanding, like, again, this is not sponsored by Netflix and you're not, like, there's no money behind this in a sense. It's just you guys taking a camera, trying to find those stories and kind of broadcasting it out. And so sometimes that takes time,
Yeah.
And so now here you are, a year later, almost ready to drop this thing.
So that's in case everyone's wondering. So editing will take at least probably a rough cut. What we're saying probably
It would be December.
December.
David Haight is going to be the editor.
Okay.
And he's really good.
Cool.
He's a good friend of mine, so
Good.
it's just like it works out well.
Yeah.
And
Hey, friend. Hey.
friend,
Hey,
hey.
chum Dave.
you want to be on this free project?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and let me speak to that a little bit too, because just as you mentioned, this is a passion project, and everyone that has contributed to this has known that fact. Nobody's getting paid for any of this.
This is not like a circus show and you're the con artist and
Yeah,
you're like,
Right, I'm only snake oil.
right, exactly. Or some wrestling production where you're like,
Yeah.
hey, you just come out here, you wrestle, and you get a cut, and here's your $5, and you're taking all the house money.
Yeah.
This is like, you've already kind of advertised this, like, hey,
Right.
I'm doing this, we're just having fun trying to make this happen.
And I think everyone that has helped out up to this point has seen Mike working so hard. I mean, Mike comes out from Wisconsin to each one of these events.
From the dark side, from the
Yeah.
northern wall,
But-
the north of the wall. Yeah.
But he's coming all the way out to Illinois to film these events, and so that's quite a cruise for him. And then, but even down to I have a friend putting together a website, Brian Burkholm. I have friends donating music, original scores, and stuff like that. So I have a friend working on our logos, just things like that really can
when you come up with that idea at C2E2, it's like you don't think about that stuff. You're like, yeah, that sounds great. Let's do it. You got a camera. Let's make it happen. And then there's all these little things now that you're getting kind of to the end where we have to stop hitting record and just get into the editing room and start making this happen.
Yeah.
There's all that other stuff like music, like, oh, okay, I guess either I could pay for some music, or if I need some kind of, like I'm sure you have specific ideas where you're like, oh, this piece would need this kind of melody, and you're like, I guess I got to buy it or I have to make it. It's like,
and you hit it right there. I actually reached out to a few friends about some of these things, and they were, yeah, let's do it. So I feel then too that I'm not only able to share this with everyone, but kind of be able to use everyone's talents and time that they're because I have very talented friends. I have
I got cool friends, man.
Yeah, I got cool friends.
I got
and
people.
so
I got
would
people.
like to feature them in this work and get them involved, and then kind of piggyback off that, and that's kind of how me and Mike started this whole journey.
Right. So I'm going to say this too.
Yeah.
This is just like Star Wars: A New Hope.
Yeah.
Because, George has this vision, and he's like, hey, we got to do this on a limited budget and not a lot of technology at that time. And that's what he did. He wrapped himself around talented people to make it happen.
Yeah.
And when you realize, like, how much effort it took to make it happen, you're like, wow, and that's Hollywood, and he was begging for money too, just to get some things done because, things were not shot right in England. And he wasn't happy with it. But, also that thing is edited so well with his wife, and then you edited it twice. And right. Cause he fired the first editor and then he brought in his wife to kind of finish it off. And then you add like Ben Burtt's sound, and then you add John Williams' score. And then you have this thing that comes out of it, and it's like, this is more than just like some dude in a suit and some old wizard, and there's a lot more to it, And again, when you guys film it, it's like, there's a story there. Yeah. But then when you have to add all that together, it becomes something even more precious,
and that documentary or that behind the scenes where they talked about him re-editing everything and showing little snippets of how the creatures were all that I think for me as a young child when I seen that was an epiphany. Even the editing part, especially considering what we're doing now, because you can create a completely different story from the editing, standpoint. I mean, you.
Well, dude, that's reality TV. You could take something that's totally like, this person said this, but you could totally spin it and make this whole story out of context of what they said, and that's reality TV. Like you're just filming, but you can kind of craft it and manipulate it in a good way and in a bad way.
And so that's the thing too. We've had. We just had a recent opportunity to film Ray Park.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second. Okay.
So very cool.
No big deal.
Yeah, no big deal.
No big deal.
So we.
So how did that start?
That started actually with the interview with our local Garrison member, Ted Ruler.
Okay.
Ted is a Darth Maul cosplayer, impersonator, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. But,
impersonator? No.
He's one of the best Darth Mauls.
He has seriously like a ton.
I mean, there's a lot of great ones. I'm not crapping on anyone, but he's got to look, and Ray Park even recognizes that. So he's actually one of Ray Park's favorite Darth Mauls, and so one of the times
you're my favorite.
Yeah, one of the times he was in his mall. He had an opportunity to stand next to Ray Park. At a convention.
Okay.
And so he was talking about that a little bit with the interview that we did with him.
Okay.
And so he kind of had this connection with Ray Park. He did a few things for him, and Ray never really forgot about it. He helped him out with his kids one time. So he kind of had his in with Ray.
Right.
Which is kind of cool.
It's nice to have people that know people. Yeah.
So we were going to try to see if we could just out of the whim grab his interview with Ray at Celebration, and it didn't work out.
Okay.
It's fine.
It's fine. It's all fine here.
Yeah. Good.
It's good. It's
not
good.
crying.
Yeah.
I was crushed. It's okay.
We were a little crushed, but when we found we couldn't do that, we found out he was going to be in Wisconsin in a few months later.
Yeah.
So
in June, it was June.
In June, yeah. So
you're like, hey, I know a guy in Wisconsin, me, right?
Yeah,
let's do this.
I was like, right, yeah.
But either way, he was going to be there again, and this was going to be a second opportunity to try to connect with him.
Connect with him, yeah.
And so. Ted Ruler reached out to him and said, "Hey, listen, I'm going to be there for you. I'll stand there as you sign autographs in my mall." and he does a mall trooper too, which is really cool.
Yeah, that one's cool.
So he asked him. He says, "Listen, we got some guys. We're filming.
I know this guy that's got a camera and he wants to take a,
Would you be willing to do this?" And he basically said yes. So long story short.
Long story short, you're there in Wisconsin.
Yeah, but here's the thing. So there was some not conspiracy. What's the word I'm looking for? There was some drama about the 501st and him leaving the 501st.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So basically, what ended up happening was, which was horrible, and I don't have all the details, and I don't really want to get into everything. But
right.
He was fat shamed pretty much for his appearance
in Solo.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as this is kind of exclusive stuff.
Yeah.
As he explained it to me, he shot those scenes.
Yes.
He had injured himself and he needed surgery.
Okay.
So
before the shoot, or
no, this was after the shoot.
Okay.
But he knew about the surgery that he needed.
Yes.
Beforehand. So. What ended up happening was he thought he was done. He thought everything was cool.
Yeah.
He's like, I need to get the surgery. He got the surgery, so he wasn't working out. He wasn't. He was in recovery.
Yeah.
So they asked him back. And, and he had obviously gained some weight, which is fine.
Yeah.
But, and to tell you the truth, it really makes more sense to have him like that because of the way he lost his legs.
Yeah.
And, as far as story is concerned,
as far as story,
I
right.
mean, his body type would have fit that more so than him completely being lean.
Yeah, right.
But anyways, I thought he looked great. I think most people, and I was excited to see him. I'm sure most people were.
But then he got all this kind of pressure, social media pressure. In a sense.
And I guess from a 501st member. So that's what caused him to get upset. And because
we're all human. We're all human. And obviously, the thing with social media is everyone knows you hide behind your phone or your computer, and you could say
anything you
the
want.
most wonderful things and the most awful things. That's human nature.
Right.
That's what,
and you got these armchair quarterbacks that don't know what they're talking about, or
who've
just
never done a backflip or a karate kick or lightsaber twirl, and but you're fat or whatever that is. Yeah.
I mean, Ray he's back and he's looking great.
Yeah.
And he's amazing with his fans.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think people really realize that. And when I seen him at Celebration, he was one of the last people to leave.
Yeah.
I mean, lights were going out.
Yeah.
And he was the same way in Wisconsin.
Right.
So you may wait in line a little bit for him, but you're getting your time with him. So, and you just don't see that a lot with celebrities.
Right.
Nowadays.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
So Ray's an amazing guy.
So you're there.
So
you're
I'm
there, and there's a little drama.
There's a little drama, and I didn't really know how to approach him about that because I am 501st, and I didn't know. I didn't know.
Hey, I'm 502. 502. I'm a 502 member, not a 501st.
Just ignore this patch. You're wrong. It's fine.
But I didn't know how he was going to react, or if he was even going to, because once again, you hear people say, oh, he hates the 501st now, and it's just, well, it's not the case.
Sure. So you're there.
He
amended.
Everything's great. He's a
and how many days did you shoot there? 2 days?
3.
3 days.
3 days.
Yeah, we spent 3 days with Ray Park.
Okay.
And he was nothing but
a gentleman and a scholar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Such a cool guy.
Yeah.
Very cool guy. And so just amazing. And
so you have obviously you have Ted as Darth Maul.
Yes.
And then are you just picking up a lot of what interaction between them and Ray Park and cool.
There
was so much. Like Tom was touching upon this, he interacts and engages with his fans so well.
Yeah.
Like it's not, I see a lot of things looking through cameras, things like that. And, you get a little bit closer because I got, I'll put on the telephoto lens, I get a little bit closer.
Right.
Like that. And you can see people's facial expressions sometimes and they may appear fake, but he was not fake. And I'm not just saying that. Like every time it didn't matter if it was 10 o'clock in the morning or 7 o'clock at night.
He was giving the same attention,
same energy.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. And and he remembers everybody. Like he remembered me from 10 years ago.
Yeah.
When I interviewed him for a different project that I was working on.
One of those projects.
And it's like, for somebody that deals with that many people,
Yeah.
he definitely cares about his
Yeah,
fans.
yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
So yeah,
So that was a cool thing that kind of organically happened.
yeah, very very cool. And so
Because that wasn't happening at C2E2 when you're like, you know what? We're gonna interview Ray Park
yeah,
and
let's do celebrity interviews.
Yeah.
we're gonna do celebrity interviews
Just
as well.
stop by. Oh, I was just in the area.
Yeah.
What you up to?
What you up to? What you up to? Okay.
But so there's that.
Yeah.
And then, we have Weird Al Yankovic this Sunday.
Okay.
Which is cool. He does a lot for the 501st too. as
Right,
far
yeah,
as
so
bringing
if-
us up on stage.
Right. So if you're not aware, like Weird Al has a little Star Wars love as well,
Yeah.
and usually his last song he brings up the local 501st,
Yeah.
right? Mm-hmm. So you're gonna capture that.
Yes, we're going to capture that on stage.
Nice.
And we weren't approved for a interview, but if he wants to talk with us,
I mean, if you would want to talk with us, that'd
Yeah.
be
Right, that'd be fine. That'd be
I'll
fine.
work
yeah.
my magic and see
Right.
if he'll say
Yeah.
a few words. But
Yeah.
like I said, he's also another amazing celebrity that kind of does stuff with the 501st.
Cool.
There's a few other things
Yeah.
I don't want to mention, but we're
Right. We want to keep it. We want to keep a little surprise. A
Yeah.
little. Right.
we're looking to maybe interview some other celebrities. but
So okay. Some recent events, Celebration Chicago. How was that experience for you guys?
oh my God.
Besides not getting the Ray Park interview, I mean,
No, it was.
How was that? Was that cool?
Mike, how
It was really cool. It was my first celebration.
Okay.
It was mine too. So,
Yeah, it was.
It was yours too?
Yeah, I've
Okay.
never been in one.
You're when I saw you that one time, you're like, dude, I haven't slept. I'm like, cool,
so
man.
what was it? How many days was celebration?
it was
days.
five days.
5 glorious days. It seemed like one long one.
Yeah, 5
Like
days.
a one.
In 5 days, I got 10 hours sleep. I added it all up. 10 hours sleep,
Wow.
and that was between.
Because I'm sure you went to the bank. You probably did it all.
I would. Oh, sure. And Mike
Yeah.
wasn't there with everything. I mean, like he was. I was doing other things because I'm filming, but I want to have fun too. So, I mean, I only.
Guys, I'm filming a documentary. Hold on, right? Yeah.
But it was just so much to take in. There
Yeah,
was
it's a lot to
so much.
absorb.
And
Yeah.
I suited up only twice. One for the photo, and one because they needed someone to fill a spot. But we were just running around like crazy,
Yeah.
and there was
It was nonstop.
yeah,
It was good though.
What did you have any kind of agenda?
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a little you wanted or did it just kind of you just kind of went with it and
Well, we had an agenda, and then because of just the craziness of everything, of all
Right,
the things that were just kind of presented to us that we could do,
yeah,
that agenda was out.
it was out the window.
It was gone.
Yeah, and so
That's pretty cool though.
Which is really cool because a lot of things that were presented to us, we would have had no idea. Some Make-A-Wish stuff. I can't give too much away, but just some
There were some cool things that happened.
very cool things that happened there, and we were just so fortunate to be invited to all that with a press pass and just being able to walk around. And then,
Was it kind of like Wayne's World where you're kind of holding up the pass, and you're like, hey, I can get here,
no, but
But everybody was they were so cool too. Like the crew themselves, the people that work there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Everyone
right,
there
yeah.
was just so they were cool.
Cool. Yeah.
one of the coolest experiences for me too is meeting with some of the nicest guys, the Belgian prop crew.
Okay.
They put together the Millennium Falcon.
Yes. I did not get to sit in it because the line was ridiculous, but that looked amazing.
Yeah, that was so cool. We got an interview with them. Those guys are awesome. They do amazing work. They did the main stage chairs up there. They did that speeder bike thing.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to think what else they did. I'm sorry, guys, if I'm missing something, but I know there was another.
They're taking notes right now.
Yeah, I know there was another group that did the X-wing and the
the TIE Fighter.
The TIE Fighter. I think that was a separate group though. I think they were from Germany. I don't know. I could be way off, and I apologize if I am. Like I said,
We're gonna fact check this.
Yeah,
like
10
Tom.
hours of sleep.
Tom,
I'm
wrong.
reviewing footage tonight.
Yeah. But all in all,
It was a great experience.
It was a great experience.
Yeah.
It was perfect timing for our documentary, obviously being here in Chicago.
Right.
And all of it was just so much to take in. But we got some really
Good
cool
footage.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, good.
And also, getting back to not excluding or just using the Midwest Garrison, it was a great
Right.
opportunity.
That's a great opportunity
talk
to just
to
be
other
like,
garrisons. And,
oh, you're from blah blah blah, and
yeah. So yeah, it was just nonstop between the filming and
right, and having fun and
partying, after hours parties and all that kind of stuff.
And the patch, I had no idea how crazy, not crazy bad, but like how many patches there are.
Yes.
Like I was.
Yeah.
I went into the room and it was like entering Mecca. Like, it's like cherubs are singing, things are flying through the air. It was like, oh my gosh.
Well, I think that's with any geekdom, right? So like every geekdom has these kind of layers, right? Mm-hmm. And even in 501st world, there's layers. You know, like you can go down the Centurion level where you're trying to get that highest grade screen accurate thing, and you want to be that Centurion level. You could go down the path of like patches, which is like this whole subculture, like where you're nickel and diamond and try and trade in, and there's all these kind of like little niches in these kind of subcultures, and it is very fascinating. It's like, wait, I didn't even know this was a thing,
I love the patch and coin thing. It's too much for me. It's just way too much.
There's so much. I mean, again, you can have like props. Like people are building props, and that's a thing, or they're custom. There's all. 3D printing is like this huge thing that's kind of blowing things out of the water. Like, oh yeah, Kevin Glass, like he's 3D. Well, that was at C2E2. He 3D printed this whole like black 3PO thing, and I'm just like, you did this in your basement?
Yeah. Oh, he's got like 3 printers going on.
That's impressive.
That was impressive, right? We filmed that at C2E2, right? Yeah. There was something else. Since we're talking about C2E2, there's something special that happened at C2E2 this year.
There was,
yeah. And we want to talk about that real quick?
Yeah, we can. So, as I mentioned before, Mike travels all the way
from the northern.
From Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So, I really wanted to say thank you. I talked to Rex about getting him an honorary member, which is something we do for people that are involved in 501st, but are not necessarily costumed and not, necessarily trooping with us.
Technically, like the Legion does that for people that are in Star Wars, like movie, movie stars or whatever.
Right. Or has some kind of tie to Star Wars.
Right. Yeah. Last year we did, I forget the guy's name, the Hasbro guy that built, like he's been the main designer for Hasbro for all the Star Wars toys.
Yes.
And we presented him at Joliet. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he got an honorary thing. So
So I wanted to do something a little more than just honorary. So I reached out to the garrison and I posted on there. We were basically taking up a collection so I can put together a costume for Mike.
Okay.
So everyone was great about it. Everyone obviously had been seeing him out there
hustling,
putting in time,
blood, sweat, tears.
Yeah. So they were more than happy to do this, and we collected the money pretty quickly. And the biggest thing was obviously ordering those parts from the different suppliers. But we. What I wanted to do was obviously have this ready for him by C2E2, and then knowing that Celebration was going to happen, that could have been his first troop.
Sure.
How amazing would that be?
Amazing. I like it.
So
you get all the parts, get everything together.
Yeah, we got it all together. I tell Mike we are going to film a special presentation or announcement or something like that. I can't remember exactly what bullshit I gave you.
I was like, yeah, let's do this. That's all right, cool.
So gullible. Yeah.
So I get everyone lined up, and as we're lined up, I say, "Hey, Mike, why don't you come out from behind that camera?" And
I was like, uh-oh, what's going on here?
What's happening?
I go ahead and present him, but I'll let Mike kind of finish.
No, the funny thing is that I didn't even think about it. The 3 weeks prior, Tom had asked me, like, what hat size are you?
What's your shoe size?
Like,
what's your hat size?
Pants do you wear? Like, this is weird. I don't know.
we're friends now. Yeah.
All right, so
I didn't think anything of it.
yeah. So explain that. I said, hey, this is the best I could come up with. Okay, so please. All right.
Right,
so
right.
I
Why
tell
does
him
he want my in-seat?
Dude, I don't know.
I tell him, I say, we're doing a swag bag.
Oh,
And I tell him we're going to have like hats, and we're going to have flip flop. I don't know what the hell I said, but I'm like, this.
It was so random. So it was perfect enough to where I was just like, oh,
yeah.
Yeah. So
I guess I'll measure my instinct for you. You know, right? Yeah.
we didn't have to go in that depth, but all I really needed was hat size.
Sure.
He's about the same build as me, so I knew the jumpsuit and everything. And so the costume that we did put together, which we didn't talk about, was
Imperial Crew.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
it was really awesome. I was
Floored.
I was floored. I didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
And I was
Right. Yeah.
And I looked at the video. And I was like, yeah, I looked like I was really like shocked, and I
Yes.
was, and I
Yeah,
really
yeah.
am, and I was really honored, and it was really cool, and I thank everybody that did it, that contributed to that. And that actually shows to, I mean, anybody that's going to watch the documentary or even aware of it, that shows how tight this group is and how they're willing to help people.
Right. Yeah.
Like, and it's just like, it wasn't even, anything that I expected or asked for.
Sure.
Which is great. And I love it.
Right.
I will be trooping soon.
Cool.
But with filming, sometimes it's easier just to be in my regular
Right. Yeah.
regular gear. But
Regular gear, cargo shorts, shirt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Flip flops and run around.
especially when it's like 100 degrees outside.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, absolutely.
We had a few days of those. So, but
Right.
either way,
So that was a nice little surprise,
Yeah.
and
That was awesome.
it was filmed.
It was filmed.
Yeah, which is even better. Yeah.
And it was in focus. Thankfully, I was like, all right,
All right,
let me
let
focus.
me do a wide shot here, and I'll go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a cool little. Again, that's just. I mean, you weren't thinking about that a year ago.
No, we weren't. And
That's cool. That's
I
cool.
knew Mike would love to have been a 501st member. As it explained to some of his other closer friends, probably wouldn't have had actually gone through with it. So I figured this is one of the best ways to get him going on it.
Cool.
And that costume you can
down
build
that
on.
slippery slope.
You're gonna be in that like trade patch in like a year from now. You're
Oh my
like,
gosh.
I can't get out of this, whatever.
Yeah. So that costume you can add on to, obviously, which is one of the greater startup type costumes, because you can add the helmet and be TIE fighter, or you can be the gunner, or, just whatever. So he has options now. So.
Yeah, he has options. Yeah, exactly. All right, so as we kind of wrap this up, what have you learned about the community? And I think we kind of touched about that already, just like people kind of coming together. I mean, a year ago, you didn't know anybody, and now you're...
When I was really surprised on how accepting and welcoming everybody was. It's weird to, when you're filming for people, you just kind of assimilate with everybody else.
Yeah,
it's so weird on how people are like, all right, cool, you're just one of the people.
Right.
Like,
I guess we're gonna go to Portillo's. Okay, like
you're part of the game.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Let's do it. Yeah, you're right. Like, let's go to Portillo's. Let's do that. All right, cool.
Yeah. So that's kind of the 501st thing, and then like broader, like how do you see the community? Like, how does that?
That's just the thing. It's no matter where you go.
Yeah.
And that's really why we wanted to tell this story, because it's not locally. I mean, obviously, you go state to state, and
it's different.
Things are a little different because people are different in different states. I mean,
different strokes for different folks.
Right. Yeah. But as a whole,
it's there.
It's there, and that's what people need to realize, is that it's just this one huge community of people that really care for each other. I just recently seen this thing on Facebook. It was I think it was put out by the 501st official thing, but it showed the stormtrooper in his armor, and it kind of like did one of those things where it points to certain parts of the armor. Yeah. And it says shoulders, blah blah, whatever, and then it showed a heart. on him, and it said, "This is where the story." I'm totally misquoting this thing.
You're totally
It
right.
was beautiful,
I'm confused.
but basically what it explained was that
That's
there's a heart underneath there for
Yes,
giving. And
yes.
and
I see what you're
it
saying.
really summed it up. And
Yeah.
it was really well. It was really cute and well
Right,
done,
but
so-
well done, not like by
Yeah.
your interpretation, but
Yeah.
we got
Yeah,
the
right.
gist.
Thanks.
We-
It was a great
It was great. Yeah, it was a great thing. Great. Yeah. Okay. How about what have you learned about yourself? So I'll start with Mike. Like, what have you learned about yourself in this journey with this project?
That's a really tough question. I mean, I think I learned that I stick with things. Like and
Yeah.
If we're gonna finish a project, we're finished.
There's this project,
Like, I
right?
don't
Yeah.
care. And that's the one thing that I've tried to always do. Even if we're driving down the road and the car's flipped like 13 times, it's on fire, I'm still gonna be pushing that sucker over the finish line.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what it takes.
Right.
It's gonna be over the finish line.
Right. Exactly.
But I don't know, just determination to get it done.
Yeah. Cool. How about you, Tom?
Well, let me first, before I answer that question, I do want to say that that's completely true of Mike. I mean, he's been really the driving force of this. Once again, coming out to Wisconsin, but this guy is an animal.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not his only project.
Right,
he's got
right,
going
yeah.
on. It's been nothing but a pleasure working with him. I have no film history. Of any kind. I never went to school for any of this. So but I have a vision.
Yeah.
And Mike and Dave and everyone else I've been working with has helped me to make this a reality.
Sure. Yeah.
And so there's a story I want to tell.
Yeah.
And besides working on those few films with Mike and being an extra in a few things and really loving the movie making process. That's my only real experience with this. So I'm more than grateful to Mike and everyone else involved in this for not only contributing their time, talents, and efforts towards making this a reality, but what I probably learned, to answer your question about myself, is that there is those people out there that they want to help and they want to make your vision a reality. And so it's helped me to realize that there's this
There's still good in the world.
There's still good in the world. Yeah. And, And really,
Star Wars, they're still good.
Yeah. And once again, Star Wars is the platform that we're using, but
it's
the
human
story,
nature.
The human nature is what this documentary is about.
Yeah.
And so, I just want to hope that everyone really enjoys what we put out.
Yeah.
And if I can plug us for a minute here, if you want to follow us on social media, we have our Facebook, which is Behind the Bucket. It's 3 words, and then
thank you. Behind the Bucket, got it. 3 words.
And then Instagram, which is Behind the Bucket Doc.
Okay.
Which obviously all one word.
DOC. Yep.
Yeah. And then we have a website that we're actually being built right now.
BehindTheBucket.com.
Yeah.
There you go.
So the actual name was available.
That's good. That's good. Okay.
Yeah. And then Twitter too, I believe, right? We have.
Twitter's weird.
Yeah.
Like even if you type in what you want, it usually kind of auto assigns something. Different.
Sure.
So basically, if you guys could follow us, and that way you can stay up to date on what's going on. We take some screenshots every once in a while, just kind of
saying, hey, this is what we did or shot this,
or announce where we might be filming next or what we might be filming next.
Yeah.
And so if you guys want to be a part of it, if you're 501st, or if you just want to be at these events, that's the best way to find out where we're going to be.
Cool.
Twitter is Behind Bucket.
Behind Bucket.
Yeah.
Okay,
got it. Good. Thank you. So trailer is going to be dropping. The teaser trailer is going to be dropping August 3rd.
August 3rd.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And we can find that on the YouTubes, and you'll be on your socials and all that kind of stuff, right?
And if you guys want to follow Mike on his personal Instagram, if you got any projects or something like that, you want to call him out
if you want to hunt me down for projects, like I'm always up for a challenge.
So what's your Instagram?
Mike Determan. Actually, if you look all the social medias, it's just Mike Determan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's easy.
Yeah. Right. I needed something simple for myself.
Yes.
That's why I write my name in my shirts. So,
right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
If for whatever reason you do want to look me up,
You should for your props.
yeah,
right,
Rosy Props, ROSY Props 77, and so that's my Instagram. You can also just find me on Facebook if you want to friend request me or message me. It's Tom Rosy ROSY.
There you go.
Tom makes great props. You need to check it out.
Yeah.
It was in another feature film we worked on.
Yeah.
Cool. There you go.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for that. Now it's time to move on to Katina Chat. All right, so every week we talk about what's happening geek-wise. So I'm gonna start with you, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
Anything geeky happen besides filming a documentary?
Let's see, geeky. Well, I've been.
Well, you're going to Weird Al.
Yeah, I'm going to Weird Al.
Yeah.
What a childhood idol of mine. I mean, for real. I'm gonna probably lose my professional L. Just like want to give him a big bear hug or something.
Right.
No, he. Yeah, for sure. I love Weird Al. I've always been a huge fan.
Is this
of him.
going to be your first concert?
Yes, this is my first Weird Al concert.
Cool.
Too. So
Cool.
This is really, once again, like with Celebration, I'm like getting spoiled. This is ridiculous. Like I'm nothing.
You want
else
to
is
meet
gonna
Ray Park? Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to meet Weird Al? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
yeah.
but besides that, I've been really excited. If we're just getting on geeky things,
Yeah.
I just rented or bought a Vita Angel. What was it called?
Battle Angel?
Battle Angel. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Cool.
I
Awesome.
like that one. Yeah.
Awesome.
So really cool effects.
Yeah.
It looks like it's leading into a second movie.
Okay.
Kinda.
Cool.
So,
Nice.
but if Star Wars wise,
I mean, Weird Al kind of covers it.
yeah, I would say,
I mean, you can't really top it. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's cool, man.
yeah.
Awesome.
I'd have to kind of say that Weird Al is on there too.
Is on the That's coming this week.
It's so unique. It's just like such an odd thing. Like, hey, would you like to go, film Weird Al? Like, I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have to ask? No.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, no, so it'll be fun.
Yeah.
And I watched Spider-Verse, if you're talking about
Oh.
So
Yeah.
that's
Was that
amazing.
your first viewing?
Second viewing?
Second
But
viewing.
I rewatched it and I saw
Yeah.
some things that I missed. And
Yeah.
It's really good.
Dude,
That was
I
well-
love that film.
It's so
Yeah.
good.
It's ridiculously good.
And it's amazing because it's by the guys that got fired from Solo.
I know.
And they won an Academy Award for it.
Right. They got fired from Solo, and then they picked up this project, or they were probably already working on it, and it just happened to win
I
them
think
an
life
Oscar.
turned out good for them.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think if they could come back and do an animated film,
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I mean, that it seems like their medium, and there's a story in Spider-Verse, and I think that's why it works. There's a lot there. So, but yeah, I could talk about that film all day.
Me
It's
too,
great.
so.
It's great. Yeah. For me, I am reading or listening to Thrawn Treason. That just came out Tuesday, and so this is Timothy Zahn, and that was one of the cool moments for me at Celebration as I got to finally meet Timothy Zahn, because he kind of got me with Heir to the Empire. I basically read that book and it blew my mind. I was like, I'm all in. I am not leaving this, grew up with Star Wars, but then kind of fell out. But I mean, I was a teenager when that came out. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not going back. I mean, this is Star Wars or bust. So I finally got to meet him, and that was like such a cool thing. And so now he's on his third new canon book with Thrawn, and it's very good. So I highly recommend it.
Yeah. And how iconic is his covers too?
Yeah.
All his books.
Yes.
I mean,
Technically he doesn't draw them, but
Right, I
they're
know, but they're associated with them,
Right, exactly. Yeah. They're burnt, they're like right there. Like, okay, yeah. But he's just a really I feel like he really is able to tell a story, and it's like it's kind of like not fluffy, it's like pretty in there, ingrained, and I don't know, from an author perspective, he's one of my favorite, because I just feel like, oh yeah, I completely could see what he's writing, and that's for me that makes it, reading, making it visual. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, I can see that space battle in my mind and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I would check it out. Thrawn Treason is it's pretty dope.
If I did have to add one more thing
Oh.
to nerdy,
Yes. Okay.
it's probably
it's like yeah.
it's probably getting my Star Wars sleeve tattooed on my arm.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Yeah,
that's fairly new.
yeah, it's fairly new.
Right,
So
yeah,
I've been,
yeah.
I've been adding as we go here. So I
Is
have
that
to catch
also
up to you.
in the documentary?
No.
No,
that
what?
would've been- I know. Did you get any cell phone footage of it?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. It has been documented. Yeah.
We actually filmed the guys getting tattooed at
Celebration?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
cool,
we
man.
went over there and talked to. We interviewed one artist at least,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, cool.
Because that was the thing too. We
that
wanted.
work is. I mean, like just like even looking at your arm right now,
Yeah.
the shading.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
a lot different than seeing tattoos on people when I was growing up.
Yes.
Like just
yeah.
the straight thick
Yeah. Yeah.
lines.
It's like
Some of them look smeared. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like your guys' tattoos have the shadowing and
Yeah.
it's it's really cool.
they
Yeah,
hurt.
cool. and they hurt. Right. So that's new in the documentary, right? Yeah. Cool.
But that was one of the things, and I keep bringing it up. But I mean,
Mike, we know Mike's from Wisconsin.
He's like, I'm from Wisconsin.
No. I was just
tattoo
gonna
says
say
so.
we wanted to also talk about the fandom. So
Yes.
that was really
Yeah.
really cool to
Yeah.
see people just coming in there and putting the ink on them to just
It's
forever stamp that fandom to their bodies.
It's legit. It's
Yeah.
legit. Yeah. It's like, okay. It's kind of like a branding thing in a real sense. It's like I'm identifying with whatever this is, and this just happens to be Star Wars, and I'm
Yeah.
very, very passionate about it. So yeah, that's kind of same thing with me. I'm like, I'm going all out. You know?
You have to.
Yeah.
Go big or go home.
Go big, go. Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, thanks again for listening to another episode of WSTR Galactic Public Access. Once again, you can check us out on social media, WSTR Media, all one word, all lowercase. We want to hear from you. So comment, tweet, rate us on Apple Podcasts, because that's also iTunes died,
Yeah.
So now it's Apple Podcasts. So you can email us at mailbox@wstrmedia.com. Leave us a voicemail, 630-557-WSTR. That's 630-557-9787. Leave us a voicemail, and we can play it on an upcoming podcast. Actually, I'm just going to plug this now. Like, what has been your experience? Like, have you interacted with the 501st? Let us know, and we'll play that in an upcoming episode. You can catch our back catalog of episodes at podcast.wstrmedia.com. We got merch, store.wstrmedia.com. We got everything there. You guys already kind of said this, but let's just do it one more time. Where can we find Behind the Bucket again? Let's do it.
BehindTheBucket.com soon, hopefully, yes.
Yeah, Behind the Bucket, and Behind the Bucket Doc, which is our Instagram. Behind the Bucket, which is Facebook.
Yeah.
So
and
check.
Behind Bucket.
Behind Bucket on Twitter.
There you go. See, we got it.
Yeah.
All right, cool. And once again, the trailer will be dropping August 3rd.
August 3rd.
August 3rd.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now it's like legit. It's
Please
like,
share.
Now it's in stone.
you're right.
Please share,
Right.
and just you guys. That's the biggest thing. So social media is huge, and
it is
really gets
huge.
the word out. So if you're gonna take the time to watch it, just click that share button. And, I mean, really, it's that simple.
Yeah, it is. It really is that system.
It helps us get the word out. So we'd appreciate any help in that way.
Well, obviously, from our socials, we'll do the same and plug you guys for sure.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So thanks again for coming on. Really appreciate it. It's been fun.
Thank you.
Yeah. Next week, episode 134, The Machine Won't Stop. We have Andy and Josh from Hollow Chronicles podcast, and they're all about Star Wars collecting. So all the toy collecting. So that, again, that's a whole nother
Fandom.
thing. It's a whole nother thing. So they're
As we sit here in front of your collection.
It's impressive.
Thank you. Yeah. I would say though, I would trade some of that. I would literally trade all that to been in the 501st sooner. I think if I
I know exactly what you're saying. That's why I don't buy anymore.
Yeah, because
I'd rather spend
this
the
is
money on
great. Like
costumes.
this is great. Like all the toys. Like when that's another thing. I read Heir of the Empire. Got me kicked in, and then before the special editions, they started re-releasing the figures, and these are figures that like I had as a kid. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get these, and that started this whole, on a piece of money college budget, I started like collecting. But honestly, the 2 years that I've been in the Garrison, I wish I could trade this collection to have more costumes, I guess, in a sense.
Yeah.
Because just that experience, like, I feel like it's a great combination of like, my geekdom as far as like, hey, I'm a stormtrooper, to also giving back to the community is like the biggest thing for me, and I was like, yeah, this is great. And
you can't carry your collection
and I can't carry that collection like with me, and that's part of why, again, like I got tattoos so I can carry that a little bit and say, hey, this is me, but just that feeling is part of why I'm so glad I joined the 501st and 100%. Have like everything we just talked about, is one of the main reasons why I love it so much. And I love toys and I love all that stuff, but I wish if I could have taken that money and invested it a little bit different, I would have done it differently. But
I agree 100%. Yep.
hindsight's 2020. But I'm not gonna throw it away either. I love it.
You know, but kids that look for
right, exactly. But yeah, it's just that's the beauty of 501st, I think. So.
Yeah, I would agree 100%.
Yeah, well, that was the sidebar. I didn't expect it right at the end here, but that's okay. So yeah, next week, Andy and Josh from Holo Chronicles podcast. So get ready, look forward to that. We end this. I don't know if you know this, but we end the show very particularly.
Okay.
So we're gonna say, now this is podcasting. Can you help me out with that?
Sure.
Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Now this is podcasting. There we go.
Thank you.